Welcome on board, Chosen One. Funny how everyone pretended they did not see you coming. They thought they could keep you hidden in the shadows forever while you quietly built your strength. But right now, they are absolutely panicking. Your sudden rise has completely shattered their comfortable little illusion, and there is nothing they can do to stop the inevitable shift that is happening. Look closely at how people are reacting to your energy lately. They are mad, and they are deeply jealous of your light. You have not even done anything to them directly, but your presence forces them to face the ugly truths they have been hiding. You just started walking in your truth, and their demons could not handle it. Their whispers behind your back are just the sound of their own terror. They always described you the exact same way. They called you too sensitive and too hard to understand. They used those words to make you feel completely alienated from the world around you. They wanted you to believe that your depth was a disease, because they knew they could never swim in the oceans you navigate every day. But your depth was actually the very thing that terrified them the most. Now the tables are turning in a way they never anticipated. The silence you carry now is heavier than any words you could possibly speak. That is your quiet authority, taking full control of the room, and it makes the people who used to look down on you feel incredibly small. You no longer have to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You have become untouchable. Why do you think they try so hard to bring you down? It is because your very existence reminds them of the potential they threw away when they chose a life of comfortable mediocrity. When you walk into a room, you do not need to announce your presence. The atmosphere shifts immediately, and that uncontrollable shift makes the narcissists feel entirely powerless against your energy. I know you have been exhausted by this silent war. You have spent years wondering what was wrong with you while you tried to heal the wounds that other people inflicted on your soul. You tried to shrink yourself to fit into their tiny boxes, and you dimmed your light so they would not have to squint. But heaven never designed you to play small just to keep weak people comfortable. Your assignment is massive. Before we go any further, I want to hold something in front of you. Something that was discovered not inside a spiritual community, but inside a highly respected research laboratory. Something that won the highest scientific recognition available, and it is a secret that most chosen ones have never been told about. It explains everything you are feeling right now, because it explains something I know you have felt deep inside. The strange gap between the person you know yourself to be and the version of you that seems available only in rare flashes. You have watched others succeed effortlessly while you struggled, and you knew you carried a much higher potential than you were currently expressing to the world. I will show you exactly what was found, but not quite yet. First, I need you to fully understand what was actually taken from you before you even realized it was gone. So hold this important question in your mind right now. What if the gap is not a character flaw or a lack of faith, but a specific scientific mechanism that was deliberately turned off? There is a physical mechanism behind this spiritual block. The elite forces that profit off your exhaustion do not want you to know this truth, because a fully awakened, chosen one is the ultimate threat to their fragile system. They are terrified of what happens when you wake up. They want you stuck in a matrix of survival mode forever, but their time is officially running out. You have felt the strange physical symptoms lately, the sudden tightness in your chest and the racing thoughts at 3 in the morning when the rest of the world is deeply asleep. Stop letting the world convince you that you are just dealing with ordinary anxiety. That is your spirit detecting a massive shift in your timeline. Your nervous system is trying to wake up a dormant frequency. This is exactly why you have been feeling so isolated lately. People are falling away from your life at a rapid pace, and the doors you thought were meant for you are slamming shut. You feel like you are walking through a barren desert, completely alone. But you are not being punished. You are being divinely isolated for a kingdom-level upgrade that requires absolute purification. Do not look away from this message. This is an urgent divine interception reaching you right now, and if you leave, you will single-handedly shut the door on the blessing your soul has been crying out for. Heaven has personally routed this specific message to your screen. The enemy is panicking because they know their grip on your life is finally breaking. They know that once you understand the science behind your spiritual power, they can never touch you again. Their jealousy is just confirmation that you are on the right path. Stay with me. Take one slow breath, because the truth about your divine alignment is about to be completely exposed, and your reality will never look the same again. Listen carefully to what I am about to say next. You are not crazy, and you never were. Your intuition was absolutely right, every single time. And when you walked into those rooms and felt that sudden heavy energy drop, you were actually detecting the toxic frequencies they were trying to hide. You felt the silent jealousy. They called themselves your friends. They smiled at you warmly, but their eyes held nothing but cold resentment. Stop blaming yourself for the fact that they walked away. Stop thinking you did something wrong to push them out. They did not leave because you were difficult. They retreated because your pure light was blinding to their hidden shadows. And every time you succeeded at something or showed your true potential, it felt like a direct attack against their own miserable failures. They wanted what you carried naturally. You have a spiritual gravity that draws people toward you. Broken people flock to your energy constantly. They do this because they simply do not know how to generate their own light when they are left alone in the dark. They treated you like an ATM machine. They made constant withdrawals from your soul. You were left completely empty. You thought you were just being a good person. You gave them endless chances to prove themselves. You always saw the good in everyone. But that deep empathy became the exact weapon they used against you when you were not looking. This was never a fair fight. You operated from genuine love. They operated from calculated extraction. They studied your kindness to exploit your boundaries. This is why you feel so physically drained right now. The constant fatigue is not just normal tiredness. It is the direct result of psychic vampires attaching themselves to your auric field. Your sensitive nervous system has been working overtime for years just to keep you safe from their toxic projections. You have been fighting an invisible war. You fought it in complete silence. But here is the truth they tried to hide. The reason the universe responds to certain people and not others is not about luck. It is not about raw discipline or even how much you pray every single day. It is deeply connected to a specific brainwave. Scientists actually have a precise name for it. They call it gamma. And it is the exact frequency your brain was running when you were a child. Think back to when you were much younger. Ideas came to you easily and without force. Learning felt completely effortless and natural. And there were moments when you somehow knew things before they even happened, as if the universe was whispering secrets directly into your ear. The world felt like it was on your side. That was your gamma frequency. You possessed a natural genius. Then adulthood arrived and everything changed. The modern world went to work on you relentlessly. The chronic stress began to pile up fast. The endless glow of screens hijacked your attention, while the daily survival routine trapped you in a heavy cycle of endless exhaustion. The rigid school system trained you. You learned to conform. They systematically broke down your natural rhythm. Every single year, this sacred frequency was suppressed further. It was pushed deeper below the surface of your conscious mind. The version of you with photographic memory went completely silent. And the version of you with lightning intuition was buried alive under decades of societal programming and accumulated trauma. The luck faded away. It became background noise. The genius went completely dormant. This is exactly why your manifestation efforts feel frustrating. You write your goals down on paper. You visualize the beautiful life you want. But trying to manifest with a suppressed brainwave is like trying to drive a heavy car when the engine has been completely removed. The intention is incredibly pure, but the physical vehicle is stalled. They designed the system to keep you stuck. Most people will live their entire lives without knowing this. They will accept their daily mediocrity as destiny. But you are clearly not most people, and the question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago still matters deeply for your ultimate spiritual breakthrough. The question about a missing gap, the hidden name. The answer is closer than you think. What was taken can be reclaimed. You have carried this heavy burden for entirely too long. Heaven deliberately slowed you down to protect you. The rejection you faced was not a punishment at all. It was actually the ultimate protection protocol activated by the universe to keep you away from those toxic environments. Breathe that truth deeply. Feel it in your spirit. You never lost your true power. It was simply put to sleep. Do you feel that subtle shift in your chest? That is your intuition confirming every single word. Your soul recognizes the absolute truth. And the people who betrayed you actually did you a massive favor because they pushed you out of the nest so you could remember how to fly. They forced your awakening to begin. They accelerated your spiritual timeline. You are rising above them now. Now they watch you from a safe distance. They are filled with bitter regret and envy. They see the golden glow returning to your face. They feel the massive shift in your energy field, even when you are standing miles apart from them. They are absolutely terrified. They can no longer access your light. You have closed the door forever. And that is where your healing begins. Imagine this for a second. You always believed your silence was your biggest weakness. They constantly told you to speak up and defend yourself. They made you feel small for avoiding conflict. But your silence was never cowardice, because it was actually a divine incubation period preparing you for this exact moment. You were gathering immense power. You are no longer that fragile victim. The spiritual war requires strong boundaries and a completely unbothered mindset. You need to anchor yourself right now. Hit subscribe to establish a divine energy receiving station. Do not let the darkness distract you from this transmission, because you are building an impenetrable shield around your aura today. Now I need you to pay close attention. Narcissists and toxic people survive by feeding directly on your emotional reactions every single day. When you argue with them, you hand over your precious energy on a silver platter. But when you go completely silent, they suddenly starve. They completely lose their minds in the silence because they cannot extract any more life force from a vault that has been permanently locked. Your silence has become your ultimate weapon. It carries a heavy weight that forces them to reflect on their own darkness. They thought they had broken your spirit when they pushed you into deep isolation. But what they did not realize was that solitude was your training ground. You did not break under their intense pressure, but you simply evolved beyond their reach and stepped into a much higher frequency. They expected you to chase them. They waited for you to send those long paragraphs explaining your hurt feelings, but you gave them absolutely nothing. And that pure absence of reaction was the highest form of disrespect they could ever experience. Your quiet authority now terrifies them deep down, because they quickly realized they can no longer manipulate a mind that they cannot access. Let me tell you the real reason this happened. The betrayal was not designed to destroy your beautiful heart. It came to upgrade your intuition and completely reprogram your shattered nervous system. The universe used their toxic behavior as a catalyst. It was a harsh and painful crucible, but it was specifically meant to forge your heavy empathy into an unbreakable weapon of pure light. A truly healed person no longer tolerates disrespect, disguised as brutal honesty. You no longer entertain confusion, disguised as true love. You became the exact weapon you were desperately trying to survive. The profound silence after the storm hits incredibly different, especially when you finally look in the mirror and realize you were the storm all along. You are the absolute master of your reality. They are closely watching your every move right now. They use fake accounts and ask mutual friends about your current life. They are secretly hoping to see you fail miserably without their guidance. But instead they watch you glow brighter than ever before. Your frequency is elevating at a rapid speed, and it makes them incredibly dizzy with pure, unadulterated envy while they remain stuck in their miserable cycles. You do not even hate them anymore. Hate requires emotional energy, and you refuse to spend another drop on their existence. You simply feel nothing for them. And that cold indifference is the most painful punishment a narcissist can ever receive. You have permanently evicted them from your mental space, and now they are just empty ghosts, haunting their own bitter memories in the dark. This brings us to a massive realization. Your past was not a series of unfortunate mistakes. You did not waste your time loving the wrong people. Every single tear you cried was actually watering the seeds of your current kingdom elevation. God allowed you to experience the counterfeit, so you would never doubt the authentic blessing when it finally arrives. They thought your kindness meant you were completely blind to their hidden motives. They mistook your divine grace for ordinary human stupidity, but you saw every single lie the moment it left their mouths. You just chose to stay quiet while you gathered the solid evidence. You let them play their silly little games while you quietly and meticulously secured your absolute exit strategy behind the scenes. That is the true power of a chosen one. You do not roar to prove you are a fierce lion. Your energy demands absolute respect the moment you walk through the door. The boundaries you set are entirely energetic and completely unspoken. People can easily feel the invisible wall around you, and they know they cannot cross it without getting severely burned by your holy light. Do not ever apologize for your fierce boundaries. Do not feel guilty for leaving them behind in the dust. They had their chance to honor your pure presence, and they chose to play with it instead. Now they have to live with the harsh reality of losing you. Let them sit in their self-made dark reality, while you step completely into the warm sun of your new glorious timeline. Take a deep breath and let this truth settle in your spirit. You have officially passed the hardest test of your entire lifetime. You survived the brutal manipulation and came out completely clean. The universe is incredibly proud of your silent and dignified victory. And what happens next will prove beyond any doubt that every single silent tear you cried was absolutely worth the pain. But there is a deeper layer to this phenomenon. You might be wondering why the universe took so long to deliver your harvest. You have done all the deep inner work to heal yourself. You have forgiven the toxic people who hurt you deeply. You pray and you try to manifest your dreams daily. But somehow the massive breakthrough still feels just out of reach right now. This long delay is incredibly frustrating for your tired soul. Let me tell you the absolute truth about this painful delay. Your spiritual block is not a punishment from God or the universe. It is absolutely not a lack of pure faith on your part. Your soul is completely ready to receive the massive blessing today. But the physical receiver in your brain is currently jammed by the heavy frequencies of constant survival mode. The Matrix programmed you to stay anxious, so you would never rise up. You need to claim your true identity before we go any further. Type 111 down in the comments to claim this divine alignment. Do this physical action right now to anchor yourself safely in the present moment. You are breaking the heavy chains of generational trauma today. The dark enemy wants you to stay completely passive and silent. Do not let them win this crucial spiritual battle today. Before we go to the deeper signs, I have to address something crucial. There is a real physical mechanism hiding behind your spiritual block. Modern science is finally catching up to what your beautiful soul already knew. The daily stress of your past trauma locked your brain into a constant beta wave state. You are perpetually stuck in a chaotic fight or flight mode, and this keeps your highest vibration completely trapped inside your physical body. When your brain is trapped in that heavy survival frequency, it cannot receive divine downloads. The universe is literally broadcasting the exact answers you desperately need right now, but your internal radio dial is completely tuned to the wrong station. This is exactly why your powerful prayers sometimes feel like they are hitting a solid brick wall. The spiritual signal is completely blocked by your exhausted nervous system. Before we go any further, I have to tell you something incredibly massive. It is something the elite people who profit from your exhaustion deeply want to hide. Brilliant neuroscientists working quietly away from the headlines have discovered how to bring this dormant brainwave back. They found a way to unlock your genius state without decades of painful struggle. The profound truth is finally out in the open for the chosen ones. They did not achieve this through years of silent meditation that most people cannot sustain. They did not use biofeedback machines that cost $7,000 and require a clinical setting. They found something far simpler and much more aligned with your natural design. It is a specific sound frequency engineered to guide your brainwave patterns back to the genius state you were born with. It works below the level of your conscious awareness. Highly respected researchers at Princeton University studied this exact phenomenon very closely. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed the massive results. Columbia University even found that when this specific brainwave is reactivated, it begins to influence the people around you. Your healing radiates outward and positively impacts your children and your romantic partner. You literally become a walking beacon of pure light and transformation. 7 minutes a day is all it truly takes to shift everything around you, and it begins working the very first time you close your eyes and just relax. I will tell you exactly what this is called and how to access it before this message ends. But first, there is something you need to deeply understand about your final test. The universe requires you to completely release the old heavy baggage. You must realize that your spiritual awakening is a profound dual process. You have to clear the emotional baggage, and you also have to tune the physical vessel. The darkness actively wants to keep your physical body utterly exhausted and depleted. They feed you toxic media and stressful news to keep your brainwaves heavy and chaotic. They truly fear your massive potential when you are fully aligned. Do not ever feel guilty for feeling so stuck and tired lately. You have been fighting a heavily rigged system for your entire earthly life. The narcissists around you were just ordinary agents of this low-frequency matrix. They were sent to drain your energy, so you would never have the strength to tune into your higher purpose. But their mission completely failed to destroy your soul. You survived every single attack they threw at you. You are still standing here today with a pure heart and a very open mind. That alone makes you an absolute anomaly in this incredibly dark and broken world. The universe is incredibly proud of your pure resilience and your quiet strength. Now it is time to give you the exact tools you need to finally thrive. We are about to enter a completely new phase of your spiritual journey today. The old chapter of endless suffering and painful waiting is officially closed forever. You are stepping into an era of massive manifestation and rapid divine alignment. But you have to be ready to recognize the real signs when they finally arrive at your front door. Pay close attention to what happens next in your immediate reality. You need to see the massive difference between you and them today. They live entirely on the shallow surface of ordinary life. They constantly chase cheap drama to feel important. They need loud noises to distract them from their own dark emptiness. But you carry an ocean of incredible depth inside your soul, and your quiet presence exposes everything they desperately try to hide. That immense depth absolutely terrifies their fragile little egos. They think they have to steal energy from others just to survive the day. They wear fake masks to impress people who do not even care about them. You operate on a completely different and higher frequency. You walk in authentic truth even when it makes you unpopular, and you refuse to bend your morals just to fit into their toxic games. You do not need external validation because heaven already approved your assignment. This is exactly why the Great Purge is happening right now. The universe is actively removing these low-frequency individuals from your immediate timeline. You used to cry when these toxic people walked away from you. You thought you were losing a valuable piece of your earthly family. But heaven is literally taking the trash out for you right now, so you must let them walk away without any resistance. Do not run outside and try to drag the heavy garbage back inside your clean house. Your energy fields simply do not match anymore. They are vibrating at the lowest possible level of human consciousness. They thrive in negative gossip and complain about every single minor inconvenience. You are actively trying to break generational curses and build a massive spiritual legacy. You cannot build a glorious kingdom with people who are constantly fascinated by the mud, because their limited vision will never comprehend the vastness of your divine calling. They will only drag your heavy boots down into their familiar misery. Watch how they react when they completely lose access to your pure light. They throw massive temper tantrums like spoiled little children. They try to paint you as the villain in their heavily fabricated stories. Let them talk to anyone who will blindly listen to their empty lies, because the people who truly matter will always recognize the pure truth in your spirit. A weapon of light does not stop to argue with shadows on the wall. You just shine brighter until the shadows are erased. The empath with boundaries is who you are right now. You used to absorb their toxic pain and carry it around like a heavy backpack. You thought that was your noble duty as a deeply spiritual person. But true empathy does not mean acting like a human sponge for their calculated abuse, and you are no longer responsible for healing people who do not want to heal. You finally learned how to close the energetic door. The loud sound of that heavy door closing is making them absolutely hysterical. Let them be incredibly mad and fiercely jealous today. Their intense anger is actually a beautiful complement to your current spiritual growth. It proves that your massive frequency shift has placed you completely out of their reach. They are suffocating in the thin air of your new altitude because they never did the inner work. You do not need to drop your high vibration just to help them breathe easily. They need to learn how to climb the mountain on their own 2 feet. They always tried to make you feel like you needed their approval. They positioned themselves as the absolute gatekeepers of your personal success. They wanted you to beg for crumbs from their table of false abundance. But their entire fragile kingdom was built on shifting sand and empty promises, and they knew it would collapse the moment you realized your true divine worth. You finally realized you carry the entire universe safely inside your own chest. You never actually needed their useless permission to become absolutely magnificent. Take a good look at how they spend their precious time right now. They obsess over superficial things that will decay and fade away completely. They worship money and status while their souls rot quietly in the dark. You are chasing eternal alignment and profound spiritual freedom, and your deep connection to the divine source makes their superficial prizes look entirely worthless. The vast difference between your path and their path is incredibly staggering today. But they are too cowardly to drop their heavy masks and face their own hidden demons, so they project their bitter insecurities onto your glowing success instead. They are terrified of your light. Leave them behind without feeling a single ounce of dark guilt. You are entering a promised land where their low frequencies simply cannot survive. This permanent separation is the greatest blessing heaven could ever give you. The dark storm of their jealousy cannot extinguish the blazing fire inside your soul. You are the cycle breaker who refuses to repeat the tragic mistakes of your ancestors. And the more they try to curse your mighty name, the more heaven multiplies your endless favor, because darkness always fails when it tries to consume the pure chosen one. Step fully into your role as the master of your reality right now. You have successfully cleared out the heavy, toxic energy. Now the universe is sending you clear signals. The massive wealth transfer is finally approaching your door. Do you remember the physical signs we talked about earlier? The sudden tightness in your chest was your intuition upgrading. Your nervous system is officially preparing to hold the massive weight of true divine power and pure abundance. You are starting to see the profound signs everywhere you look. The repetitive angel numbers are constantly showing up on your clock. You see 111 and 777 almost every single day. These numbers are absolutely not a random coincidence in your life. They are direct confirmation codes from the universe because your new timeline is downloading right now. Your sleep patterns have drastically changed over the last few weeks. You wake up suddenly in the middle of the quiet night. Your mind is buzzing with brilliant ideas that feel entirely foreign. This is happening because your brain waves are actively recalibrating to receive the high frequencies of massive wealth. Your spiritual vessel is expanding to accept the incoming flood of blessings. Notice how strangers are suddenly treating you with deep, unexplainable respect. People you barely know are offering you random favors and unexpected opportunities. Your elevated energy field is naturally drawing massive prosperity toward you without any conscious effort. You no longer have to chase the things you deeply desire. The blessings are literally hunting you down right now. You have completely lost interest in your old destructive habits. The dramatic conversations that used to entertain you now feel incredibly exhausting. You just want to sit in absolute silence and protect your precious peace. This detachment is a massive physical sign that you have outgrown your old matrix programming. You are leaving the heavy frequency of survival mode behind forever. There is a deep sense of absolute certainty anchoring your soul. You cannot logically explain why you feel so incredibly calm today. The world around you might look completely chaotic and unpredictable. But deep inside your chest, you just know that your massive victory is already secured. This quiet knowing is the ultimate proof that your divine transfer of wealth is fully authorized. Small financial miracles are beginning to happen in your daily life. You find unexpected money or receive strange discounts completely out of nowhere. These small events are not random luck. They are the gentle raindrops falling right before the massive thunderstorm of generational wealth completely floods your reality. Your stagnant financial energy is finally breaking wide open today. The heavy brain fog that plagued you for years is lifting. Your thoughts are becoming incredibly sharp and profoundly crystal clear. You are starting to remember exactly who you were before the world broke your spirit. The suppressed scientific mechanism we discussed earlier is slowly starting to reactivate on its own. Your brain is preparing to run on its original genius frequency once again. Take a deep breath and let this powerful realization sink in. You have survived the longest and darkest night of your entire soul. The bright dawn of your new glorious era is shining directly on your face. But before we go any further, I have to warn you about something. I need to reveal the fatal trap that has been set up right at the finish line. 99% of chosen ones fall for this dangerous illusion. They get so incredibly close to their massive breakthrough, and then they completely self-sabotage. The darkness knows it cannot stop the blessings from arriving at your door. But it will try one last desperate tactic to make you drop the keys before you can unlock the gate. You must pay close attention to this. The fatal trap is the sudden appearance of a toxic counterfeit. Right when your true miracle is about to manifest, an old familiar energy will return. Someone from your painful past will suddenly reach out and pretend they have changed. They will offer you a comfortable distraction because the enemy wants to pull your high frequency back down into the familiar mud. Do not reply to their text messages under any circumstances today. Do not entertain their empty apologies or their fake promises of change. That sudden return is not a harmless coincidence. It is a highly calculated spiritual test designed to see if you will trade your generational wealth for a temporary moment of ordinary validation. You must completely ignore the counterfeit. When you pass this final test, the gates of heaven will completely shatter. The massive dam holding back your financial and spiritual rewards will break. You will step fully into the role of the untouchable master of your reality. Your physical vessel must be absolutely prepared to hold the incredible frequency that is descending upon you right now. The time for waiting is over. The waiting season is officially over. The dry desert you walked through has suddenly burst into a glorious oasis, and every heavy closed door is blown completely off its hinges today. Can you feel that massive shift in your spirit right now? That is the exact frequency of absolute victory. You are stepping into the exact timeline you were born to rule. You are no longer the fragile empath who begged to be understood. The cruel crucible of pain has completely forged you into a fierce warrior. You are the untouchable master of your reality today. From this very moment, your pure energy demands instant respect without a single word spoken. The dark enemies are fleeing because they cannot withstand the blazing heat of your soul. The question I asked you to hold at the beginning of this message: what if the gap is not a character flaw? Here is the final answer. A specific brainwave called the gamma wave was running freely in you as a child, and it gave you that raw genius capacity before the world interfered. But the toxic world slowly crushed that frequency. Now it is time to take it back forever. Princeton University has studied this exact dormant wave for years. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed the massive results. Columbia University found that when this brainwave is restored, it begins influencing the people you deeply love. A brilliant team of neuroscientists, led by Dr. Robert Lake in New York, spent years compressing this clinical protocol into 7 minutes. Before I tell you what they built, let me tell you about two people. A woman from California had tried absolutely everything to heal, using meditation and manifestation while desperately hoping for a cure, but nothing broke the heavy fog. After 2 weeks of listening, she said something cleared completely. Her struggling marriage shifted, and her tired mind sharpened fast. She described her daily life as enchanted. A man from Texas started using it to improve his failing business. 2 months later, his wife joked that his intelligence had jumped 20 points. The hardest problems he used to lose sleep over started solving themselves while he slept peacefully. He said it felt like his brain was running on pure premium fuel. That is exactly what Dr. Lake and his dedicated team built. They call it the Genius Song. It is not another boring meditation app or a generic sound frequency. It is a 7-minute audio track using advanced brain entrainment technology. It is compressed from 1 full hour of heavy clinical protocol into something you do at home. You just wear your headphones and keep your eyes closed. That is the entirety of what it physically requires. You do not meditate or chant to make this work. You simply let the pure frequency do what your brain was designed to receive. The Genius Song is absolutely not for everyone today. It is only for the chosen one who has already done the deep inner work. Biofeedback sessions cost hundreds of dollars per hour. What this delivers is available for a fraction of its true value. 4 powerful bonuses come directly with it today. You get an audio for your children and the original prosperity text. You also receive a guided visualization and a daily habits guide built to sustain your gamma state. The blessing arranged for you does not arrive as new information. It arrives as a profound recognition. A restored brain receives the blessing at full depth. The chosen one who restores the receiver today finally sees what was always there. Do not look for this on streaming platforms. The tracks circulating on YouTube or Spotify have no brain entrainment technology encoded at all. The only authentic version is available through the link that has been placed in the description and the pinned comment below. Protect your holy frequency. The universe requires absolutely no risk from you. If you do not feel the massive shift, every single penny is returned. That is a divine energetic exchange governed by complete and total trust. You are fully protected by this sacred guarantee. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. Take action right now to lock in this glorious frequency forever. The tool is not the final destination. The tool simply restores the receiver so the beautiful destination can be recognized when it arrives. God does not require you to purchase anything to be fiercely loved or completely chosen. What was described is simply one proven way the physical receiver is restored. Whether that path is for you or not, the powerful truth of this message remains. Now let us go much deeper into what is waiting for you. The pitch-black darkness has officially retreated behind you. The dawn of the new era is shining its brightest rays onto your spiritual crown right now. You are stepping into the kingdom with your head held high and your heart completely open. The forces of heaven are standing behind you and clapping for your brave victory. Every single tear you shed in secret has been transformed into a diamond. You are the architect of a completely new generational reality today. Let that immense power surge through your veins right now. You survived the hardest battles completely alone, and because you did not break under the heavy pressure, the universe is handing you the master keys. Your glorious reign has begun. Look around at the beautiful kingdom you have quietly built in the dark. The terrifying storm has completely passed, and the winds have finally settled down. You are standing victorious on the mountain peak today. And as you look down at the deep valley below, you can see exactly why the journey had to be so difficult. You had to be broken so you could be rebuilt completely bulletproof. The generational curses that plagued your family for decades are officially broken today. You took the absolute worst hits the enemy could throw, and you simply refused to fall down. Because of your quiet endurance, the future generations of your bloodline will never have to fight those exact same demons. You paid the heavy price in full. Now you get to collect the massive eternal reward. Every single energetic cord tying you to the toxic past has been permanently severed by divine hands. The narcissists and manipulators cannot cross the sacred boundary that heaven just drew around your life. They will try to shout your name from the distant shadows, but their desperate voices will sound like tiny whispers in the wind while you walk confidently in the brilliant sun. You are walking into a season of unprecedented and unmerited favor right now. The massive doors that were bolted shut for 10 years are swinging wide open for you, and the people sitting inside those beautiful rooms are handing you the keys without hesitation. This is the massive divine wealth transfer taking actual physical form in your daily life. Do not ever shrink yourself again just to make them feel comfortable in your presence. You are the rare soul that heaven trusted with this massive assignment. When you speak, your words carry the heavy weight of absolute spiritual authority. The universe listens closely to your quiet commands because you have proven that your pure heart cannot be corrupted by cheap power. Your frequency is now actively healing the ground you walk on every single day. The deep sorrow you carried for so long has been evaporated by the warm light of God. You no longer walk into a room hoping people will like you or validate your existence. You walk into the room knowing that your presence alone is the absolute biggest blessing anyone could ever possibly receive. The resources you need to build your massive legacy are already dispatched and heading your way. You do not need to struggle or hustle wildly in the dark anymore. You just need to keep your high vibration incredibly pure and completely unbothered by the daily chaos around you. The universe is fighting all your remaining battles while you simply sit back and watch the glorious victory unfold. For the chosen one, whose spirit confirmed what was described earlier, the path remains completely open in the description and the pinned comment. The tool is waiting for those who are truly ready to restore the receiver. That is the final time it will be mentioned. What follows now belongs entirely to your sacred sealing. The pitch-black darkness has retreated completely, and the dawn is shining its brightest rays onto your spiritual crown. You are literally vibrating at the highest possible frequency of pure divine love today. The angels are standing around you right now, and they are watching your every single move. They are waiting for you to officially claim this massive reality as your own permanent timeline. You cannot simply walk away from a transmission this powerful without locking the energy in place. A massive spiritual download requires a definitive physical action to anchor it securely into the physical world. If you leave without sealing the blessing, the dark enemy will try to steal the seed before it can grow. You must build an absolute shield of protection around your aura today. If this fiery message has reignited the deep faith inside you, do not keep this great blessing entirely to yourself. There is a broken soul out there bleeding in the dark of despair, and they desperately need a guiding light. They are crying out for the exact same validation you just received. You have the massive power to completely change their trajectory by simply extending your hand today. You must act immediately to lock in this glorious frequency forever. Share this video with someone who needs it to multiply your own blessing. Send this message to another chosen one who is struggling in the dark, so they can find their way back home. Sowing the seed of hope into someone else today is the absolute fastest way to multiply the harvest for yourself tomorrow. When you hit that share button, you are proving to the universe that your hands are completely open. You are showing heaven that you are a generous vessel capable of holding massive amounts of wealth. Let the divine energy flow through you and reach the far corners of the earth. The more you freely give, the more heaven will violently pour back into your overflowing cup. You are no longer the lonely empath searching for a safe home in a cold world. You are the majestic master of your reality, and your glorious reign has officially started. Walk completely in your quiet authority and never look back at the ruins of your old life. The universe is fiercely protecting you on every single side today. Step into the golden light and claim your ultimate, eternal sea round.